Good afternoon, good morning to the entire CEWIL community and maybe some friends and family of our winners today. Welcome. My name is Charlene Marion. I am the Executive Director here with Cooperative Education and Work Integrated Learning Canada. And I do have to say that this is absolutely my most favorite thing to do as Executive Director here at CEWIL. It is something that I am always excited to see come up on my calendar. And if I'm being honest, like makes me slightly not jealous is not exactly the right word, but like it makes me question what I'm doing with my life when I read all these wonderful bios of our students of the year. I'm like, wow, I'm really slacking. Like I need to pick up my game, or what was I doing when I was a student? Goodness. So it is just it's always a really inspiring time, and I'm just so honored to be here and to hear from all of you and to meet all of you today. Before we jump in and I turn things over to my wonderful colleagues and our fabulous students, I do want to offer a land acknowledgement before beginning. So today I am joining you from the beautiful territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin people, which is not my normal territory. I'm usually on Abenaki territory, which is in Sherbrooke in the province of Quebec, but I am in beautiful Chelsea, Quebec today. And I shared a little bit about the meaning of Ottawa and the Ottawa River, which sort of splits the two provinces. And because I was spending some time in Ottawa this week, and the word Ottawa means to trade. It comes from the Algonquin language to trade, and it just makes me think about all of the work that we do at CEWIL, that the work that we do as students, as WIL coordinators, as supervisors, like we trade our knowledge, we exchange our perspectives, our lived experiences. And so I think it's just a really wonderful way to situate myself today, being in this trade and exchange mindset, because I'm really excited to learn and hear from all of the students and all of the wonderful things that you've been able to trade and exchange with your partners and your professors and your WIL coordinators and your supervisors. So really honored and blessed to be on the unceded and unsurrendered lands of the Algonquin people today. With that, I would be remiss if I didn't say a huge thank you. And I know both Julie and Colleen are fearless co-chairs of the Student of the Award Committee. Student of the Year Award Committee will thank their committee members, but it is my job to thank them for their fearless leadership. There is an immense amount of work that goes into the planning and the reviewing and the organizing of all of the submissions, and none of this could be done without both of their leadership, thought, and care. And I would also want to say thank you to Lamia on the CEWIL team, who has been in the background, getting the press releases, sending the messages, getting the awards ready, and all of the things in the background to celebrate all of these wonderful students. And to the students that are here today, really excited. Congratulations. We are really excited to watch you continue to grow and blossom. You're already blossoming into wonderful, beautiful human beings. And so we're really excited to see where you go next and all the wonderful projects and impact that you'll have. So without further ado, I'll turn things over to Julie and Colleen.
Thanks so much, Charlene. And obviously, your leadership with this organization is also appreciated too. Um, just before we jump into the really fun part, we also wanted to just take a quick moment and acknowledge for and share with everyone here today. This is, I think, and maybe I'm totally biased, the best committee that CEWIL has because, as Charlene alluded to, reading the nominations from the students who are doing such incredible work across our country is so inspiring. And it really it shines a light on how incredible our institutions that nurture and shape these programs that allow students to do this really are doing fabulous work. Our community and industry partners that take these students on and mentor them and give them these experiences. But more than anything, there are some really, really incredible students doing fabulous work. And so we wanted to acknowledge everyone in the space right now for the work that you do supporting students, employers, family members, because that's a huge part of this as well. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, we feel really grateful that this is the committee we get to work on because it is so inspiring and uplifting. And yes, it does make us think like, holy smokes, what the heck was I doing as a student? Because it clearly doesn't hold a candle to some of the stuff that you folks have been doing. So it's really awesome and great to read that. So thank you for that. I'm going to pass it to Colleen to talk a bit about the award as well.
Yeah, just want to say an absolute welcome to everyone that is such an important part of the journey. For us as co-chair, brings me joy. Thank you to Charlene and team just for the ongoing support. Just our amazing students. You are our light. You are our future. And it's amazing just to see the contribution you make within not only your community, but in the industries and with your peers. So it's my absolute pleasure just to celebrate this award and to have you join us today. And just a bit of background, the Emery-Dufault Award was established by, at the time, Kafka, now CEWIL, in 2003. And it's really in recognition of the contribution of two of its pioneers in cooperative education and will. And that is Charles Leslie or Les Emery and George Joseph Defoe. So just really want to thank them for creating this legacy that we can truly embrace co-op in its various forms. And really want to introduce and thank Christopher Defoe, who is the son of George Joseph Defoe, just for the ongoing support of CEWIL, ongoing support of our students, which is so meaningful to us. And I absolutely want to invite participation. We're always looking for individuals to be a part of our committee. It's an amazing entry point into CEWIL Canada. So Julie and I will drop our contact information. So feel free to reach out to us and learn more about the Student of the Year Awards. Over to you, Julie.
And the last stop before we get to the announcements, a huge shout out to the rest of our committee members. As Colleen said, our committee is open for lots of participation from folks across the country, and we are always looking for great representation as much as we can from college, university, all regions, and language groups as well. So the folks who were helping us this year, both in the nomination process and in the planning and deliberating beforehand to make sure that we're on the right track with everything. We'd like to give a shout out to our newest member to join us this year is Silvey from the University of Sherbrooke, as well as Shannon Danson from Simon Fraser University, Andrea Field from York University, Erin Gillespie from University of New Brunswick St. John, Alyssa Hindle from University of Victoria, Corinne McCullough from Brock University, and Fred Mills from University of Alberta. So that's who was really helping us out on the ground this year. And a few of these members are having to leave the committee at the end of this round. So we do have spaces open. And if you're interested, please do get in touch so that we can, and I believe on the slide it says the email address you can email if you'd like to ask us about participating in this committee for the next round. Okay, so I think now we can get to the fun, exciting announcements. So I think the best way that we can do this is to maybe play the video that introduces quite briefly who our winners are, and then we'll meet them all. Does that sound like a good way to do this?
Hello there, my name is Thomas Vandersloot, and I'm a fourth year neuroscience student here at the University of British Columbia. I was really lucky to have two amazing co-op placements that span from healthcare strategy as well as neuroscience research.
Hi, my name is Laci Schulenborg. I am a fourth year Bachelor of Arts student at Vancouver Island University taking my honors degree in psychology.
Hi, my name is Makayla Silvey. I'm part Inupiaq and English, and I'm in my second year of the Mechanical Engineering Technology program at Camosun College in Victoria, BC.
Yay! Congratulations. So excited to announce these winners to you all. That's Thomas, who's here with us today from UBC for the University Co-op Award. That's Makayla Silvey from Camosun College for the co-op in college level. And then we've got Laci Schulenborg from Vancouver Island University with the university level Will Award. And then Fiza Kaleem from Sheridan College winning the college level Will Award. Way to go, guys. You're all amazing. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So I think at this point, we do have all four of you here. And I think Colleen and I wanted to give a chance for you guys to have your voices heard. We heard your amazing nominators and the statements that you wrote for this award nomination package. But no one else other than the folks on the committee got to read all that good stuff. So we're hoping we can kind of share a little bit more with you all so that everyone can see the amazing stuff that you did and the amazing humans that you are that have brought you to this event today as our award winners for this year.
And I know for Thomas, really, when we think back to just your application, your submission, and just the incredible impact that you all have, but in this case, Thomas, just read an excerpt from the submission. It said, ethical leadership and career clarity. Thomas co-op fundamentally shaped his professional ethics and career trajectory. When tasked with evaluating a potential clinic partnership that seemed lucrative, he discovered services conflicting with evidence, best practice, and this presented like a dilemma that you really worked through and really had an impact in designing partners model, identifying risk, and really you modeled and exemplified a consultant-based approach around clinical authority and patient safety. And just really thinking about that, Thomas, what did you learn from this experience and what does winning this award mean to you?
Yeah, thanks for that, and thank you for everyone for being here today. It's a huge honor to be here, and I still don't totally believe it. But yeah, in terms of the ethical dilemma kind of that I faced when I was tasked with that partnership that you mentioned. For context, yeah, I was working for a healthcare company, a primary care network in Alberta. And we were approached with another clinical group out east in Ontario that had a really lucrative business model, and they wanted to partner with us and expand their services over into Alberta as well. And at first glance, it seemed like a great opportunity for our network to incorporate some of their services. However, and that was my task. My task was basically to um, dig a little deeper and investigate what they were doing and kind of how we're going to go about this partnership. And as I dug a little bit deeper, especially with a scientific background and the training that I have in neuroscience, I was able to see that some of these services that they were offering were not clinically based. They were not, based with clinical evidence and science. And so, um, even though to a little bit of the dismay of my executive team that I had to present this report to, um, I had to uphold the integrity of our patients and basically create a modified model where all the decisions would have to go through our doctors first, which, in the end made it less lucrative because you had to add that extra step and pay those doctors in between. Um, it ensured that we upheld our clinical integrity. And I think in terms of what it taught me is that, whenever you're faced with a situation like that, you just have to think about who it's going to be affecting, and, have their best interest in mind first and foremost. And then everything else will follow because, I was worried when I was presenting it, that, some of the numbers had been skewed, but skewed downwards because, we had to add that consultant kind of aspect to it. However, the executive team was actually super understanding. They totally saw where I was coming from, and that was very reassuring to see that, even though I'm a student, they respected kind of the work that I did and the opinion that I had, and ended up going with that consultant-based approach, which was, yeah, it just taught me that you should always uphold integrity, no matter the situation.
Thank you so much for sharing that and the importance of not only did you incorporate the academic knowledge, but you also incorporated your value system and merge those together in the recommendations within that will experience and exposure, and that just the impact that can have not only on yourself, not only within that organization, but in the wider community. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Thomas. Now, the next person is Makayla Silvey from Camosun College. And Makayla, your story inspired me. Your story elevated what we can achieve as individuals. Now, Michaela's story, the shared stories from her past that caused her initially to doubt who she is, what she can bring to this world, and what her career path should be. Apparently, while she was working on her car, she frequently received unsolicited comments about what she's doing. Are you helping with your dad with the car? Or good work. You seem to know what you're doing for a girl. While these kinds of comments seemed seeded feelings of doubt, fear, and alienation from mechanical work, Makayla pursued her curiosity and her passion and interest in mechanical-oriented professions. She advocated for herself. She remained strong and just built that confidence. So, Makayla, for you, um, as you reflect on this, what did you learn from this experience, and what has winning this award mean to you?
Thank you, Colleen. Hearing you say it made me tear up a little bit. For me, it feels so amazing to be recognized for my hard work. And I truly feel honored for this award. And what I learned, the biggest thing I learned during my co-op experience was that I had a sense of belonging in mechanical engineering and being on a team of other engineers when we were problem solving. At first, it was really hard for me to speak up and say, oh, maybe the issue is this. But I slowly gained my confidence, and it felt amazing to be like I have something to contribute.
Thank you so much, Makayla. And it shows that every voice has value and that all our experiences can really enrich all the environments and spaces that we enter into. Thank you so much, and congratulations
Can I
again.
just quickly ask, you also made mention about taking part in an activity where you actually had to disembark from a boat. What were you doing? That sounded like
That's true.
Yes.
Amazing.
So we were doing a marine machinery performance trial at sea on one of the frigates. And it's basically they're testing the propulsion and the auxiliary systems of the ship and taking measurements and seeing, how efficient it is and everything. And at the end, they weren't gonna come back to Victoria. So at sea, while there was waves, I had to climb down this rope ladder, which is very scary. I can't swim very well. It was very scary. And I was in this big float suit, and everyone's telling me just go down quick, because the longer you take, you'll get more tired. So I was trying to go down quick, but then I just started getting scared, and I started going slowly, and I thought I was going to fall off, but I managed to do it. And everybody there, the Navy personnel and the other engineers and everything, they were all cheering me on, and they were so supportive.
Perfect example of courage and determination. Over to you, Julie.
So now I wanted to hear from the WIL winners for this year. Laci, if I can put you on the spot. One of the things that I was reading through that I just thought sounded really great. You talked to your nominator, or you talked about developing resources and a handbook in particular to help other co-op students and work integrated learning students when they were coming, just the kinds of supports in addition to what you were doing, which maybe you could give just a really quick snapshot of what that is, but also about the effort you put in to support your community of fellow learners in the WIL program in the psychology department. And the quote that I thought was really great was, through developing this handbook, Laci recognized the broader importance of centralized, accessible information in supporting student success within work integrated learning. This experience highlighted how a lack of clear resources can create unnecessary barriers for students, particularly those who may not have access to informal academic networks. That just thought, that's a huge thing for you to see that, but not just see that, but do something about it. I'm wondering if you can just share a little bit about, where that comes from for you, and, and how, what you learned from being able to take part in your placement, but also doing that kind of work for your colleagues.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. So I guess sorry, kind of missed a little bit of the question. I'm at work and there's a lot going on in the background here. So yeah, when I came into the placement at AVI, I was actually the first WIL placement student that they had from psychology. They have a lot of nursing students come through for like one day. They have a lot of social work students who come through for like a day or a couple of days. I was the first one that they had who stayed for an extended period of time. And being that I was the first one, there wasn't really resources on like how to onboard me, how to train me. So that was something that I took on myself, thinking that, if I could get my foot in the door here, hopefully I could bring further students in and create a connection with the community partner. And then that kind of snowballed into creating a handbook for psychology students also at VIU. Something that I noticed within my journey in applying to grad school and the things that I needed was that there's like this hidden curriculum, right? Like there's really nowhere that it's written down step by step. Here's the things that you should really be looking at. There's the standard curriculum that you need to graduate, but then there's also this hidden curriculum of things that are going to give you that leg up that you really need to get into grad school. Grad school for psychology is extremely competitive. So that turned into me working with professors and the chair of the psychology department to come up with a handbook for the students at VIU, the psychology students at VIU. So far we've created grad school pathways depending on which area they want to go into. And we're just in the final phase of rolling out the actual student handbook. And in there, it gives them information on the experiential learning opportunities like WIL. We have like other experiential learning opportunities on campus that they can do. It outlines what they are, community partners that they can work with, and the step-by-step process on how to take part in it and why they should. Yeah, and I didn't really think like when I came in and did my WIL opportunity that this was going to be something that happened. I was, really shocked when Debbie nominated me for the VIU Will Award. And then when I won that, and Caroline told me that I was put forward for provincial and national, it just kind of snowballed into this big thing that I didn't even know really existed. So it's incredibly meaningful to me to have won this, because it's an honor to be placed in the same category as so many talented and inspiring students who are having such impacts on their communities. In my role here at AVI, or my will opportunity at AVI, I think the most meaningful thing I learned is that like meaningful change really happens in the little things, right? Like listening to somebody, allowing them space to be where they're at, just treating them with dignity, especially people who are members of marginalized and stigmatized populations who very often do not get treated with dignity. That creates a safe space, and it just reinforced why I wanted to do what I do. And it actually resulted in me getting a job with AVI, and which is where I currently am right now. So yeah, it's been probably it's my most favorite job I've ever had, and it is my favorite thing to do. I absolutely love coming to work. I love working with my coworkers. I love working with our community members and seeing this kind of programming making like really impactful change in their lives for people who are really struggling with very basic things.
That's so wonderful. I really appreciate hearing directly from you about how it's the care that you've put into your work, not just that bigger care that's required for this role and that important work in our world, but also seeing the broader pathways and clearing them for others to follow as well. You're not looking after just yourself. You're not even just showing up for the job, but you're making the system work better for everyone. So yeah, that really popped out off the page for anyone who I think has read your nomination from, I'm assuming, at your institution, the province, all the way up to here for the Canadian award as well. So congratulations. And so certainly not last or least, I'd love to turn attention over to Fiza Kaleem from Sheridan College. Congratulations to you for winning the College Will Award. And the things that I wanted to talk about a little bit that came off the page for me when I was reading about your work and your experience. Just to quote a little bit, the comments were that you were unsure of where you fit within the broad field of finance, and that this will experience provided clarity for you. And the quote was that from you was that it did more than strengthen your skills. It transformed your confidence, your mindset, and your understanding of who I can become. And that entering into a competitive field where you had initially questioned whether you belonged there at all, you not only found your place, but you excelled while you were there. And I was hoping that maybe you can tell us a bit about what you learned the most from your experience, what this award means to you. And I'd love to hear more about that process of trying to find your place and using this experience to do that.
Absolutely, Julie. Thank you so much. And first of all, thank you, CEWIL. This recognition truly means a lot to me as an international student who came to Canada 3 years ago. And my journey has not always been easy. There were moments where I doubted myself for sure. And I was questioning where I even belonged in the space that I was stepping into. And there were so many challenges that taught me resilience and the importance of like just continuing to show up. I was a finance student, and finance is a very competitive field. I used to listen to so many questions like, okay, you're not from the target schools. How are you going to step into finance? And then there were some personal, religious concerns that step into your academic and professional journey as well, right? And I thought that maybe, voicing it out may not be okay because I was very hesitant. And I am so grateful that this has been like recognized federally. Like this is really amazing. And I really thank CEWIL for recognizing the efforts that were not spoken before. This journey was really amazing because I deferred my work term just to find a very good internship, and I didn't want to just go into any experience and just get anything out of it. I was really lucky to network and build a club and do everything in my own space and come up with the role of finance consultant at Four Seasons. And during this WL journey, they say that finance is for boys, it's a boys' club. Girls are like very, they suit more other kind of things. And when I went into the team, when it was my orientation, there was like, like seven boys, and I was the only girl. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the devil comes in, and she's like, the devil's like, okay, you don't belong in here. And then I shoot it out. And I'm like, I do belong here. I got this role. And I thought maybe it's going to be a very small role, maybe just accounting journal entries. And that's how I started. And then they give me this work, and they're like, you're very bright. We really want you to work on building our properties, help us with the year end. And I was surprised. I was like, okay, let me go and do that. And then it transformed into helping with their migration project, which was amazing. It was a great project, and I'm still working on it as part-time. They are migrating their financial data from older systems to a newer system. And Four Seasons is a very big enterprise. And so working on this big project with senior directors, it means so much to me because I used to always think if I even belong in the space. And now I am walking into meeting rooms that I never thought I would be in, and I am voicing out so many things. And all of that is happening with a headscarf on me. And I used to always, kept be like, okay, is it gonna stop me from doing everything? Are people gonna look at me in a different way? But no, you just keep doing things. You're just resilient, and you keep doing up. You keep doing what you want to do. You keep showing up because it's not about focusing on your other personal obstacles, because they're not really obstacles. Things that you think are your weaknesses are actually your strengths. And I come from a very religious background, but I didn't want to work in banks because it's something that we don't do. And so a lot of people would say, "Okay, you're a finance student. What else are you gonna do?" I was like, "I want to get into corporate finance," and they were like, "It's very competitive." But well, here I am, and I am so clear on what path I want to take forward. I want to work more in corporate finance, build my industry experience, get my CPA, and also work on my CFA, and kind of work in the institutional finance space. So I really think, no matter what, and no matter what your personal journey is about, whether you're in a business school, in a competitive industry, in engineering tech, if you're a woman, if you're a religious woman, anything, you do belong there. And just keep showing up and yeah, believe in yourself.
That was perfect. Perfect way to bring all of you together in the end, because that is so inspirational and so much great advice for everyone. So thank you so much for sharing that. And all of you, you've been seeing and addressing barriers in workplaces as students, not as seasoned professionals, which seasoned professionals struggle doing that. So the fact that you've been able to do those things uh, from that starting point in your careers is so amazing. But not just seeing and addressing those barriers, but sticking to personal and professional ethics, having resilience, confidence, self-learning. You really are the cream of the crop, and I'm so happy that we get to honor you today and share your stories and journeys with everyone on the call today. And congratulations to you. I'm glad your families are here to see this honor being shared across our country. I want to just take a quick moment as well. In addition to these four fabulous human beings, we also wanted to draw attention to a number of other students who we have given an honorable mention for their awards and their nominations for these awards this year. As I said, there's so many amazing students doing incredible things across our country. It's really big challenge for us as a committee to actually make, one person for each category the winner, because there are really lots of incredible things that are done. So in addition to highlighting the four of you, I also am wondering if we can, yes, thank you, move our slide forward and also give some props to these students in the University Co-op category. Deborah Oyemi from University of Manitoba, For the University Will category, honorable mentions to both Sophia Malatesta from McMaster and Brianna Nguyen from York. In the college and CEGEP co-op category, a huge honorable mention to Adad Ramatala from Sheridan College. And from college and CEGEP Will category, Sheldon Close from Portage College. So much work. We couldn't not mention these other students, and I think we'll be finding ways to help share their stories on our website or in other channels as the year goes on. And for everyone here that's from an institution and has the responsibility of highlighting and lifting up the stories of your fabulous students, I encourage you to visit these stories as they're shared and take a look and see what the amazing things are that these students are doing, and look for those things in your own students, because I'm sure they're there. There's so much great stuff going on. Colleen,
Yes.
next.
Just again, just thank you to everyone that's just been involved in creating pathways, not only the students themselves, but it takes a village. And in that village is everyone from that community that plays such an integral part to your achieving your respective goals and really embracing your passions. I'm going to ask each of you this question, and I'm going to start with Laci. What's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self as you started your will journey? And it's almost like a letter to yourself. So what would that letter include? What would be your story?
Oh, goodness. I think I would tell myself to
Mhm.
to challenge myself, do things that scare and intimidate me, because it's usually those things that end up being the most powerful, and trust that there's going to be the most growth that happens out of those. So I have definitely found that in my academic journey, it's usually the things that scare me the most where I get the most reward out of it, right? All my work integrated learning opportunities, any on-campus employment or work op that I've taken, the fact that I'm doing an honors this year. I'm not good at research. I don't really like research, and out of everyone in the honors class, I am the least experienced in it, but I did it just as a challenge to myself to see if I could. So yeah, I think challenge yourself, do things that scare you, because those things are so incredibly rewarding.
Thank you so much, Laci. It's stepping out of that comfort zone
Mm-hmm.
and taking the path less traveled and the growth that comes with it. Makayla, yourself, if you can tell your younger self and you're writing that story, what would you tell your younger self?
I would have told myself to
Mhm.
surround myself with people who are supportive and to do things anyway. Like similar to do it anyway, as in
Mhm.
doing something simple, like maybe not being lazy. Like I should reach out to this person on LinkedIn because what's the worst that could happen, you know?
Yeah. So you really talked about that stretch that sometimes that we need to internally and then outwardly networking, connecting, really what importance of having community and being around people that uplift you and that create that sense of belonging so that you can also really achieve your goals and really come into the person that you want to be, not only now, but into the future. Yeah. Fiza, what about you? If you can tell your younger self and you're writing in that story in that journal, what would be the message to your younger self?
Yeah, Colleen, I think it will be that all the things that makes her feel like she doesn't belong will one
Mhm.
day become the very reasons she stand out, which it did. So, and one more thing, I would like to say that to myself that I was 4 years ago, because the younger self, she was very ambitious. She believed in herself. She had so much faith in herself. She was always there, out there, doing everything she wanted to do. But it was really the myself when I came to Canada, and I had so many doubts in myself. And I did not know where I was going. I had zero direction. So I would like to say that to her, that believe in yourself and just keep finding your path, keep showing up, and start even if you think you're not perfect. Do not wait for everything to be perfect. Just start it right now, and things will make sense, and you just follow through. Just start.
So really taking that step forward, even if there are rocky patches, smoother patches, just really moving forward, one day at a time, having that belief in what you can do and what you can accomplish, and just trust in that journey. And
Absolutely.
thank you so much. Thomas, for you. If you put that bottle and you're writing that letter and you put it into the ocean and you sending it out there, what would you tell your younger self?
I think pretty similar to the other winners in that
Mm-hmm.
when you're starting something new and you're given those responsibilities, I think it's natural to feel a bit of imposter syndrome where you don't know if you belong making those decisions or being in that room. But I think that's natural, and I think I would tell myself to just embrace that, and that it's good to be uncomfortable because it means you're pushing your boundaries and you're doing things that you haven't done before, which helps you grow as a person and grow your skills. Um, and going along with that, it's good to be uncomfortable, but not be so stressed. Because I think when I was starting, I was always hesitant to, put my ideas forward, and I wasn't sure. I was doubting myself. Is this the right thing to do? What are they going to think of this idea that I'm presenting? But I think someone else mentioned this too. What's the worst that can happen? Just put it out there and just don't be so stressed about it because one way or another, it'll work out.
So really to trust in yourself, really not be afraid to contribute, to voice your thoughts and your ideas, because you never know where they can lead and they can have amazing impact, which all of you have had. So thank you so much for this sharing your journey, your story, for enriching not only your experience, but the experience of the individuals that you come in contact with. It is truly a pleasure and a joy. Julie?
Thank you all. Absolutely. Fabulous words. Totally reconfirms why you're here. Absolutely. And I'm loving the chat right now. If you don't have your chat panel open, you should take a look through it. But Charlene is going to put some orders in for some stickers that say things like just start. And my favorite, just don't be so stressed about it. We can all use that wisdom. So I think that is all of our kind of hosting and questions, but I thought maybe we could take a moment, take a few minutes. I know there's family members that are here. If there's anyone else that has questions or comments, or if any of our winners have anything else that they'd like to add to the table, we're going to kind of open the forum here for a few minutes in case anyone would like to chime in with their own comments or questions. Oh yes, thank you, Colleen, and also a shout out for folks if you'd like to join our committee. Maybe I'll ask our winners, would you like to do a shout out to any family that you know or friends that are cheering you on from home, from their own screens in their living rooms?
Sure, I'll do a shout out here. So I think I saw a few names. My dad, William Vandersloot, and then the UBC Science co-op program. We got especially Yaz. I want to give a huge thank you to Yaz. You've been such a support along the way. She's my co-op coordinator. And then I think I saw Mike in here as well, and Paul earlier, and my uncle Tony. So thank you guys.
Awesome. I was wondering who the room full of people were at UBC, so there we go.
Yeah, I've got a few people on here. My mom is zooming in from work. So I appreciate her taking the time to do that. I know she's super busy. One of my professors has hopped on, Stephanie McKenzie, who's been just an absolute rock for me. And Cynthia Tang is on here. She was my supervisor at one point when I was doing PSL at VIU and has been someone who has provided a lot of guidance to me in my time at VIU. Danielle Johnsrud is on here. She is the head of the Center for Experiential Learning at VIU. And so she's been integral in helping me gain these experiences. And Caroline is also on here, who is our work integrated learning coordinator and who had originally put me up for this award and has worked with me with these handbooks and so on. So yeah, I just want to say thank you. I know my spouse was on here, but he had to go because he's at work. And a couple of friends were on here as well. So just feeling very, very grateful to have so much support.
Awesome. Thanks
I
to all.
do have a few people to thank as well. But of course, if I go on, the list will be endless. So I'll just say my dad's here and they're all watching. And I think it's 10 p.m. right there because they're back home. And I want to say, Dad, thank you for sending me, abroad when you were not sure yourself about what I'm going to do. So thank you, Dad. Thank you, Mom. You guys are the one who gave me all this confidence, and I take it everywhere with me wherever I go. So thank you, Baba. Thank you, Mama. And I know you're watching me from there. And also to my co-op advisor, who has been my number one support and my campus best friend, Kayla Watcher. You are my support. You have been there with me for so long. You saw so many things in me when I was such a confused student, and you kept rooting for me. You kept throwing opportunities to my way. So, Kayla Watcher, thank you so much. And there's so many other people I can thank, but yep.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out. I think my mom left, but my mom has helped me so much, and I really appreciate her. And also, I thank my co-op supervisor, who I think he's such a busy man, and just the fact that he took some time to write about my performance during the summer for the awards meant a lot to me. And also Helen Kobrick from Camosun, who nominated me, and Steve Ferguson, was my co-op field instructor. He has really great advice, and I was excited to bring him to my co-op workplace. It's like a world-class facility, and I was excited to kind of give back to him and show him all this cool stuff that we had, all these cool machines. And there's so many other people who just did like maybe a tiny gesture, and it got me to where I am. And so I'm thankful for everyone who has helped me along this way.
That is so fabulous. And again, just a real amazing acknowledgement that even though we're all from one end of the country to the other and we're all doing our own things, they all, the efforts, they matter. They make a huge impact for everybody. For these 4 students, absolutely, but also look around your own institution, your own workplace, and see the things that you're doing that do make a difference, especially on those days if it's like a gloomy day for whatever reason. Lift yourselves up by looking around and seeing the difference you are making. Way to go. Thank you so, so, so much.
And again, just thank you to just everyone just for your involvement in WIL and work integrated learning. And as I said, not only on an academic level, not only on a professional level, but on a personal level. And as you see from the sharing, that how important those connections and the impact that can have, that is far reaching, and how interconnected we all are. So again, thank you all so much for joining this year. year celebration of the CEWIL Canada and Emery-Dufault Student of the Year Award winners.
I think that
Everyone.
puts a cap on what we need to do. Charlene, I don't know if you have any other kind of announcements or shout outs or if we want to wrap it up there, but I'm going to pass the baton back over to you.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you, Colleen and Julie, for doing such a fabulous job hosting today, to Lamia in the background, who was making sure everything was running smoothly, to our 4 amazing students, to our honorable mentions, to all of the co-op coordinators and leaders and supervisors who do so much work in the background to make sure that our students continue to have wonderful experiences. And thank you to Christopher Defoe, a son of George, who is here and joining us and continues to keep watching in the background, and for his financial support of these awards over the years. It's such a beautiful legacy. Les and George have left for us, and I am very sure that both of these men would be so proud of all of the students and all of the work. I'm not sure they could have ever imagined the impact of all of that work in the early days. So thank you, Christopher, for continuing that legacy, and thank you to all of the students and coordinators and supervisors who also continue that legacy. So thank you. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. I hope the sun is shining. If not outside, then in your hearts. And don't be stressed and just start. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.